sudden he passed 300,000 miles. So he saw this and he pulls over the side of the road, takes a picture of the speedometer and says, drove my Hyundai $300,000 to watch, baseball, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden the Hyundai sees this. They do a whole campaign about him. He's on their Instagram account, things like that. And then he gets a personal email from the CEO of Hyundai. He's like, next time you buy a car, you contact me first.
Wow.
And he hasn't done that yet. He's going to drive his Hyundai into town.
Absolutely.
He is the prototypical scout. I mean, coach baseball at Wake Forest. I'm not going to tell you who it is, though. Coach baseball at Wake Forest. Played baseball at Wake Forest. Coach forever at University of North Carolina at Greensboro. He's just just a cool, North Carolina accent. He's from Rocky Mount. Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Why don't you just tell us his name at this point?
Neil Avent.
So you're going to get this guy in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, did I say anything that would get him in trouble with Oakland?
I don't think so.
Other than maybe he was on vacation.
Or that he doesn't like the analytics.
Yeah.
Let's get more into the analytics stuff. Again, this is going to be kind of an offbeat show, and we will get to the ferocious Yorkie eventually, by the way. But,
oh, my God.
But we do want to thank Whizkids.tech, Whizkids IT on Twitter. Go to their website is Whizkids.tech. Modern business models are constantly evolving. You can keep up if you work with people at WizKids. You can put everything you have in your company on the cloud. You can move simple applications to the cloud, entire infrastructure to the cloud. You can co-locate a combination of either in a secure local data center. Again, this is a local Minneapolis company. They have a beautiful website. They're really cool people, and they're exactly the kind of people we want to work with. They should be the kind of people you want to work with as well.
Hello, Minnesota sports fans. This is Michael Thanner, founder and CEO of WizKids. WizKids is a Minneapolis-based managed IT, hosted VoIP, and cloud services provider. Businesses today require fast response times, skilled support staff, clear communication, and technology recommendations that align with their business goals. At WizKids, we do this each and every day with our clients. When you call into our help desk for support or work with one of our higher-level engineers on a complex issue, you'll find our staff personable and ready to roll up their sleeves to help you solve your technology problems. Reach out to WizKids today to find out how we can help your business meet your technology goals. Visit us online at Whizkids.tech. That's Whizkids.tech. WizKids, make it happen.
So how many hockey franchises are really deep, almost slaves to analytics?
I mean, I don't know about slaves. It is funny how the Wild have evolved into it, because I remember years ago, they kind of poo-pooed it. They really did. And they actually, in a way, kind of rolled their eyes at teams that were hiring analytics people from websites. And then all of a sudden they went and hired the War on Ice guys and actually took what many felt was the best analytics website and shut it down. And now both those people, at least as last I looked, still work for them and things like that, and they're really intriguing and things like that. Again, I think that their job is to gather as much information that they can to aid the coaches, aid the general manager in his hockey decisions, but it can't be the end-all be-all. And I don't think that any team would make it. There's no way. Toronto is the one that a lot of people look at it and say, all right, Kyle Dubas, he's a big analytics guy and things like that. But they're Brendan Shanahan over him. There's no way they're making every decision that they need to make based totally on what's inside a computer screen. But it does help. I mean, there's I think a lot of people would like to talk to Bruce Boudreau and find out why he decides to do certain things and certain. The one thing that I asked Bruce at the end of the season was, in Game 4, why did Eric Staal not get more offensive zone starts? And these are the type of things that to me I find beneficial. But I'm never going to write based completely on analytics. That's why we try to have those type of people that could write at the Athletic and do it well and smartly. And we have some great ones there. But I think if you even sat with them, they'd even tell you that, look, hockey is a game played on the ice, and it can't be completely based on statistics and things like that. But I don't think that there's really any team that would be slaves to it. There are certain teams that use it more so than others. I think a lot of the old school coaches still have trouble getting used to it. But the game's getting younger, both in the front office and on the ice in terms of coaching. And I think that there will be more of a, Calgary's one team that I can think of right away that's big into analytics. Arizona, teams like that.
Thanks to Fixologyrepair.com. John Hedges, he comes out to live shows all the time. He's been a great friend to the network. They have a location, third floor of the Mall of America, right by Nordstrom's. They have a location downtown Minneapolis in the Skyway, just south of the Wells Fargo Center, right across from the Dunn Brothers and a Taco John's. They do engraving. They do things quickly. They are good with the watches, whether you need a new strap, a cleaning, or a complete overhaul. They repair, pretty much everything in terms of gadgets, iPads, phones, watches. They can kind of help you with all this stuff. They will repair iPhones. I still need to bring out there. They will repair your tablet. Check out all the things they can do for you at Fixologyrepair.com, or whether you're Mall of America or downtown Minneapolis, it's really easy to just drop by their store and not only see what they can do for you, but the kind of stuff they sell, including really cool watches, gadgets, phone accessories, etc.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at Fixologyrepair.com or at FixologyMN on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
See, here's one of my premises about analytics. I think everybody should have them, look at them, use them, try to have, and try to figure out what applies best. But for me, if you really pay close attention to sports and you aren't totally in love with analytics, so much of what happens in sports is due to personality. Torrey Hunter was a terrible minor league baseball player, right? He was a very raw guy. He didn't know what a slider was when he first came into the minor leagues. He had bad season after bad season after bad season. LaTroy Hawkins might have been the worst major league pitcher in history for like the first 3 or 4 years of his career. You could have come up with a million analytics in both of these cases and said, these guys are never going to make it. They can't function. They're not any good. But they were workers, and they had raw talent, and they figured out how to translate the raw talent into, game-specific actions, and then they became stars. And LaTroy they both played for 20 years, So personality is such a huge factor in sports.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And you see it all the time in hockey. We could debate it dead and continue talking about it until we're both numb to it. But I think that even the most staunch analytics people would admit that it's a tool, and it shouldn't be the end all be all in terms of making every decision based on it. As Oakland says, it's to break a tie. There was a certain, that franchise, look what's going on with some of these small market teams now. It's like, you lose a team like Kansas City wins it all a couple of years ago, and now all of a sudden you lose a couple of position players and pitchers, and boom, you're starting over. And I think small market teams years ago started to figure out that, like, all right, we better be a little smarter than other teams because we have to figure out a way to do more with less means than the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, the Mets, and teams like that, the Cardinals. So they've developed all these type of tools to help them in situations. But if somebody who's working for Oakland says that they don't look at it as the end all be all, I think that should be a sign for everybody.
Absolutely. Let's do some Twitter questions from Generous Carriage. Our friend Lonnie, will the Wild be taking any cues from Vegas and making practices open to the public this season?
I have not talked to them about. Again, I hate to say it, but it's a public rink, so if you can get your way in, get your way in.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one from Lonnie. Looking at the roster he had to work with makes me wonder how Boudreau got 101 points out of this team. Any sense so far of the relationship between Boudreau and Fenton, especially as most GMs like to hire their guy eventually?
No, both have been in and out of town a lot. They'll have a retreat at Craig Leopold's Lake Owen palatial place here in the next week and a half, where they'll, I think, be able to, become tighter. But they've spent some time together, had some dinners, things like that. But again, I mean, relationships or not, I mean, best friends fire best friends. So it doesn't matter how tight they are. If the Wild struggle and it's not Paul Fenton that's going to wind up losing his job. So, right now, I look at their roster from last year, and they're returning with the same group, and I just think that there's this overall negativity about this team that even for me, who's the most cynical of beat writers, it's hard for me to really understand why that is. I mean, if they're healthy, they should be a better team than they were last year, and they made the playoffs fairly easily last year. And as Lonnie asks, I mean, Bruce did an amazing coaching job when you consider the fact that they got 100 points again for a team that was just ravaged by injuries from before training camp even began, when Granlund and Parise got hurt, to in season when it was just a laundry list of injuries right from the start with Nino and Coyle and obviously Zach and Spurgeon and people like that. So if they're healthy, they should be better. What you got to hope for is that the guys that had great years last year, Stahl and Zucker, don't fall back, and the guys that had struggled a bit, the Niederreiters and the Coyles, Brodin, have better years.
Let's get to some more Twitter questions, including one from your favorite guy, Russo Slacks. He's got a Yorkie question. I do want to mention that Tony Hoaglund, Hoaglund. You held off on your side. That was pretty good. Hoaglund. He handles my insurance. He handles Michael's insurance.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
All right, from Cody Pollock, are the Wild going to be making any changes to in-arena experience to be more like Nashville or Vegas?
I haven't asked that question, but look, this is not going to be Vegas. I mean, Minnesota is what it is. They like that type of atmosphere, both internally and their surveys that they ask their fans. A lot of the reaction I saw from Minnesotans on Twitter during the whole Vegas thing was like they didn't want that to ever happen in Minnesota. I think that there could be a balance between making it more fun and things like that. Somebody asked me a question the other day on my mailbag, all upset about how even just in warm-ups, the music there, which is very Vegas-like. And I think the majority of Wild fans don't want the on-ice theatrics and the sort of like from start to finish sort of play that they put on in Vegas. I personally like it. But again,
you're a Vegas guy.
But things work there that, first of all, people are coming to the games a little pre-partied.
Yeah.
And, things work there that can't work in a lot of cities. And this is a very traditional market that I do think that it is incumbent on game ops to be to change things up and try to evolve and make things more fun, especially if things are bland on the ice, to get the fans going. But again, as always, as I always say here, the entertainment's going to have to be on the ice mostly.
From Russo Slacks, are you still grounded, Michael?
Yeah, my mother, even warning her last week, she didn't seem to help.
By the way, if you didn't hear it, last week we did a live show at Dulonos Pizza, again, downtown Minneapolis, 4th Street, right by Ramp C, right by Target Center, Target Field. Great place to go pregame or postgame or hang out. And we did the live show last week, and it was one of the best shows we've ever done. And we started talking about Barbara's dog getting attacked, and the phrase ferocious. Michael uttered the phrase ferocious Yorkie, and we could not stop laughing for the rest of the show. And so we are all in deep trouble with Michael's mother because Oliver was actually seriously hurt, and we weren't trying to make fun of that, but the idea that it was a ferocious Yorkie that did the damage, we could not. We felt very guilty about it, but we could not stop laughing.
Yeah, no, you definitely egged me on.
Yes, I did.
She sent me, as you could see, pictures of ferocious Yorkies afterwards. So Like she claims that that Yorkies are actually on like the vets like list of most